back with another process video, and this one is for the JustNick cut file shop, and I'm using a cut file called +1, and I'm just showing you guys some of the scraps that I have picked out from my scrap stash, whatever you call it, my bin that I have some of my smaller pieces of stash in. I store mine separately with large ones and small ones. And I went ahead and used multiple, like I used a pattern paper multiple times so that I wasn't going crazy with the amount of patterns, as you can see. And I've combined old, new patterns. I've combined, what do you call it? Different collections. There's like a Maggie Holmes paper in there. There's an old My Mind's Eye paper. There's an old Echo Park paper. There's new Little by Little. There's Amy Tangerine. There's another Chamel paper. So there's lots of different papers in there. And then I picked this really interesting blue cardstock that I just happened to have and put that as a solid piece. And then I backed everything with another piece of white cardstock. So you have the white little plus signs too, and I just kind of did like a black ticking around those just for some interest. I have these two photos of my son. They are two different photos. I turned them into black and white. One is kind of like a half smile and one isn't, and I just wanted to kind of do a layout about, you know, just kind of discussing him so that when he looks back he can see that, you know, sometimes even at that age, you have to deal with different emotions and stuff like that. And I did put an overlay that I had kicking around. So I don't even know what the overlay, like what company it was from. Might have been old, like Jilly Bean or something like that. Not even sure how I have that overlay. But I put it over top and it says adore you, but you're only just going to see the adore part. And then I put a frame from Cool Kid and just kind of haphazardly put the photo underneath it and that kind of stuff. This is old paper. That's like old, that stripe is old October afternoon, I think. And it's got a floral on the other side. And I have been hoarding every single piece of it forever. I love it so much. So I was really excited to use this background because I got a new mat. So I could actually stick my paper down and not have to worry about putting washi tape to hold my paper down. So I was actually able to cut right to almost the edge, which is something I don't get to do, which is why you don't see me do a lot of background papers. Is I find my mats tend to not be very sticky. They don't stay sticky very long. Anyway, I've bought some Easy Tack too, so that for this new mat that hopefully I can keep it going a bit longer. I liked the juxtaposition of using the positive plus signs, which just kind of radiate positivity, along with this layout that's just a little bit more, I don't know, on the somber kind of dramatic side, because of course he's not smiling or anything like that. And I was asking him to smile and he was sulking, and I can't remember what it was about, but it just was kind of, it made me think of, you know, him growing up and having different emotions, and he's not always going to be a happy-go-lucky kid anymore and that type of thing. So I realized I wanted to put some baker's twine, my favorite black and white baker's twine there. So I had to rip everything up, but it was pretty easy to do. And I just used some Tombow to stick everything down. And now I'm kind of getting into the embellishing part, and there's a lot going on in the layout, so I'm not going to do a huge amount of embellishing. I found this Ellie's Studio, I have no clue how it's pronounced, washi tape strips, and there was just a plus sign one. I was like, oh, that's perfect. And then the other one said happiness found, and you know, I just kind of wanted something that was kind of like, yeah, you gotta try to find your own happiness. I'm not the best teacher for that, but that's kind of where I'm going with it. This is Chamel Little by Little, and it's the stickers, and I don't mind bringing in the gold, even though I kind of hadn't intended on bringing in any gold or any metallics into the layout. but I really liked the clouds, and I didn't feel like making my own clouds. I could have, I just didn't feel like doing it. So that's why I brought in those ones and the rain. Some more washi tape. This one is from the Little by Little collection. It's just a striped one. I thought it looked cute. I'm kind of just putting stuff down. It's really weird. Like I'm not overthinking anything. I'm just kind of laying things down. And I usually think things, like I'm going to move stuff around. You're going to see me fiddle. But I used to take a long time just to decide on embellishments. And now I just kind of go with it and stick things down. And maybe I move them later if I need them in a better place or something like that. But getting a little bit more confident in my plopping down of embellishments. I don't think I end up, no, I do end up using a little bit of the Little by Little ephemera. It's still a collection that I really love because I could use it for more masculine layouts, and it's hard to find good stuff that's kind of can be both. So I enjoy this layout for that. I loved that little badger that said, "I am what I am." Like, I just thought that was kind of perfect, but I don't end up putting it in because I don't really want to do like a top corner cluster. I don't need to. But also, the badger to me looks like a little bit like he's smiling, so I just didn't think he needed to be in there. The fox was enough. I liked the lock. I liked the icon of the lock. It just kind of made me think of locking away your emotions, that type of thing. So hence why it's in there now. I think there was more stuff that I was gonna... Okay, so I should probably explain right quick. If you go to the JustNick cut file shop and you look at the positive one cut file, it doesn't look like what I have. It's bigger plus signs. So you can do it with that really big background. I just shrunk it down and duplicated it and spread it around so that I had more plus signs in a row instead of the amount that were there. And then the only other thing I did was erase some of the plus signs in random spots. And that was simply for interest's sake. I just was creating a little bit of interest. So you can always, like, that's the great thing about something like this type of repeating pattern cut file is you could shrink it down and then do what I did just to get a little bit like something different going. And so you could use the same cut file multiple times because, of course, once you've purchased it, it's yours. You have it on your computer. And you can do something like that. You could even ungroup it, release the compound path and grab one and then just make it a whole bunch of different sizes. And that would be really cool too. And now I think I kind of maybe have to do that. Anyway, I'm off to go find thickers because I have a long title in mind. Now, the trick with that is there's so much going on in the page that it's kind of a matter of what am I going to do with, like, what kind of thickers. I feel like even just like a black thicker would be it would almost blend in too much. So I have these old ones. I don't know what they're from. I think they're just really old thickers. Like really old thickers. Yeah. Anyway, I'm currently spelling out my title on the bottom, which is something that I have, it's not like a big thing, but it's something that I've started doing. I used to not do this quite so much, is make sure everything is there and perfect and looks how I want before I stick things down. I don't want the incident of having to rip up a bunch of stuff. And especially when it comes to thickers, I do decide to glue them down and not just use their adhesive, because I think we all know that when it comes to chipboard thickers, they aren't the best. And you do need to extra glue them down for that. Anyway, I'm trying to find a nice spot to start my title and exactly how I want them. I mean, I'm not setting it up perfectly, but I'm just kind of getting an idea. so that I can, you know, begin to glue it down. And of course, first thing I do is put the eye up too high, and now I've got to move it all back down again. But after that, I glue it down and get it in a spot that I want it, and go from there. And I will remember to use an apostrophe in the word won't. I just haven't grabbed it yet. And that was the one thing I didn't check. I did not check before I glued all this down whether or not there was one, because I just figured I'd make one if there wasn't, because I can just always take like part of a Z, or I say Z, part of a Z or something like that, and use it, because I don't really use that letter very often. So the title is It Won't Rain All the Time. And I have the little clouds and the little rain. And bonus points to anybody who knows what movie that quote is from. I'll get all angsty and teen up in here, you know. All revenge love and stuff like that. So anyway, I'll do the journaling a different time, but that's it. And pictures coming up. So thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.